Good evening, audio addicts. This is Marek Stegos from Audio Alchemist here with the fine folks at Sweetwater Sound to talk to you about the Dangerous D-Box Plus. Why is it the Plus? Well, you know that Dangerous Music folks are very serious over there. You just have to read the ad copy to figure that out. So we don't just put lipstick on a product and a few new features and call it better than the last one. We actually go from the ground up and look at every single thing that we possibly can to give you more for your money, because you know what? I want something that's better too, so I'm just in for it for me. All right, so let's start with the summing section. We have 8 inputs on summing, like the original, except it's even better than the original. For example, crosstalk spec is minus 114 dB. What does that mean? I don't care, I don't know what crosstalk is. Crosstown traffic? No. Crosstalk means the difference between my left and my right speaker, all right? How much am I gonna have difference between those two? Is it like I'm panning things in and I'm losing my stereo, or is it super, super wide? If you went out and bought the best potentiometers you possibly could find and hard pan them all the way, you might get minus 70 out of those. If you went and bought arguably the world's greatest 2-inch recorder that was ever made, the Studer A827, and you record your synthy track on 24, you are not going to put a piano track on 23, right? Because you're gonna have too much crosstalk. I believe the spec was minus 56 if memory serves. So we're at minus 114, so things are really wide. Why do I care? Because everybody's trying to steal your stereo, right? What do you have when you're mixing? You've got left, you've got right, you've got low, mid, high, you've got forwards and backwards, and maybe you have high and low. That's what you've got to deal with. So left and right are of crucial importance, and I don't want it taken away from me, and you shouldn't want it taken away from you. You instantiate a plugin, it's gonna start getting smaller. You put on a hard limiter, it's gonna start getting smaller. Everybody wants to make you smaller. I just want to be bigger. I want to be Godzilla, don't you? All right, so that's summing for you. Let's go down to the control room section. Notice summing is right here. It's a button that I can press. Notice I also have an analog stereo input over here. Notice I also have something called USB down there, and I have a digital AES input, and I have a Bluetooth audio input. So let's just see if any of that stuff works. So summing, I'm gonna hit play over here. We'll start bringing some tracks in. Look, I've got some stuff going there. Got some stuff going there. Stuff happening there. Stuff happening there. Seems like summing's working. Now I want to switch and listen to my return, right? Because my summing goes out to an A to D and comes back on my final. So here's my final return on AES. The analog sum, the AES return, and maybe I have a scratch track somewhere that I'm checking out as well. And I have to, as a reference, I want to play that back and forth and see if the feel is still right of the song, or maybe I'm trying to steal the snare drum and kick drum feel or sound from that, so I can hit my USB input that's driving Tidal or driving your YouTube station or whatever you have, and back to my song. I can flip between those. I can even go over here to my phone and hit Bluetooth. So I've got Bluetooth, summing, returns, USB, and analog inputs. I've got tons of stuff happening over here. So much stuff that it's like Christmas. Okay, so over here's my headphone section. We just finished with the control room section that's feeding obviously my speakers, so me as the producer can tell what's going on. Now we want to take care of the talent side. So I have the same 5 inputs over there on the headphone section. This headphone section feeds this set of cans over here with this volume knob. This control room section feeds the second headphone over here with the second knob. So you can run 2 of the same mixes if you like that would be the same, or I could run 2 distinct mixes if I want. These are also multed on the back of the unit, so if you don't want to have a messy cable coming out of here going into your patch bay, you can use the ones on the back. Assuming you have the right impedance headphones, these can handle 6 headphones on each jack. Pretty potent and beautiful sounding. Remember, we want to inspire the talent. That's one of our jobs as a producer. If we don't inspire the talent to the best performance, then we just need to find another job flipping burgers. All right, I want to show you something else. Notice when I was hitting this section that has the different inputs over here, that these are just toggling between one thing. Notice over here in the headphone section that they're all latching when I hit them. I can set any one of these 3 sections, phones, control room, or speakers, to either latch like it is or be additive and add them all together. What's cool about that is that there's a line output down here that can either be sent the control room output or the headphone output. I may want to send somebody the headphone output, say, to a live room and to a mix wedge. So the guys are in there rehearsing and they might want to pull down something from YouTube, whatever they want, and they can drive with their own phones and handle it themselves while I'm in the control room minding my own business, probably filing my nails, right? So, moving forward, we've got the speaker output. I'm allowed to have 3 different sets of monitors on here, so 3 different sets of tops. I can also make the third one a dedicated subwoofer output if I so choose. If I want, that subwoofer output can track with the speaker. So example, if I wanted subwoofer to always turn on when I hit 1, but I don't want it to turn on when I hit speaker 2, that's no problem. That's super easy to program right in the face of the unit. I also have a mono button. Very important. Mono's coming back, not like you had in high school. Mono can also track with these buttons as well, if I so choose. Meaning, maybe I have an Oratone sitting there on one of the outputs, just a single speaker, and every time I hit that button, I want mono to be on. Not a problem. That's all doable. Continuing on down the speaker zone, I have speaker trims over here. The speaker trims allow me to set the level for all my monitors and make them equal. Remember, we want the same volume so we're hearing the same thing and we're hearing it the same way. The volume control has 3 different types of settings. So for one, note, you can use it with an app, and we'll get into that in a second. So I can turn my volume up and down, obviously, as you'd expect. Also, it has a dim switch. That means it's going to lower your IQ by a certain amount. Just kidding. That means it's going to turn the volume down, and it's user dependent. So you decide how much you would like to lower it. It's also relative, meaning not like your relations coming to visit for sandwiches, but if I'm at roughly noon and I've set it to go take it back down to roughly 9 o'clock, if I turn it back up and I go all the way to 3 o'clock, it's going to take it back roughly to noon. The third mode that I have is called set reference level. So you may want to set a reference level like the artist formerly known as Fletcher Munson, now equal loudness curve, where your ear is the flattest. People argue about it, but let's call it 85 dB for today. So I've set my level at a silly level just so you can see what it's going to be. So all I do is double tap here or double tap on the knob itself, and you can see it's dropped way down there to my set reference level. I like setting my reference level at 85. Why? It's supposed to be the place your ear is the flattest, like we said, but it's too loud for me for general mixing. I'll have my levels lower during most of the hard work and heavy lifting, and then I'll hit my set reference to jump to that level periodically just to make sure that everything is balanced in the mix. And one of my favorite features that I was saving for last, obviously you see I'm controlling this on my iPhone. It also works on Android and iPad and tablet and Mac and PC. And I can control not just my volume, but I can obviously go in and change settings on my speakers and change things on my sources and so on and so forth that we've been looking at. But check this out. I can use the talkback mic that's built into here, or I can use the talkback mic that's built into my device. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, that's when I'm coming home. Thanks for watching. Any more questions? Contact your Sweetwater sales engineer.